talking from my family perspective and the effects the loss has or is still having, it will ever have anyway. It's not as if it's an elderly person that will say, okay, he's old, or maybe he's been sick for a long time, that it is expected, that kind of a thing. Even though you're gonna feel the pain, it soon comes to you as a shock. It's been a roller coaster even before today. My husband can't really get over it. He hasn't really moved on. Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. My name is Tobioba Will saying, if this is your first time, welcome to my channel. I talk about lifestyle, marriage and motherhood. In today's video I want to talk about the effects of losing a loved one in someone's life, the effect it has on someone's life. I'm going to be talking from my family perspective and the effects the loss has or is still having, it will ever have anyway, on my family. Today makes it a year that my husband lost his dad. It's not a good one. It was a very sad event. When you didn't see anything coming, it's not as if it's an elderly person that will say, okay, he's old, or maybe he's been sick for a long time, that it is expected, that kind of a thing. Even though you're gonna feel the pain, it soon comes to you as a shock. Today makes the year that my husband lost his dad, and it's been a roller coaster even before today. My husband can't really get over it. He hasn't really moved on. I know it's still fresh, it's just a year, but the effect on him is still as green as ever. I can't remember if he felt this way when he lost his mom many years ago, because when it happened, and the funniest part of it is that on 2 occasions that I have lost a very close person to him, I've always been around him. When he lost his mom, I wasn't there. No, we were married, but we're still dating. So I was in his house that very evening when his younger sister called him to break that news of his mom passing. To be honest, the mom has been sick for some time, and but no, even if your parents are old, you don't still want them to go, to be honest, regardless of how aged they may have been. But it happened, and that is how life is. Now fast forward to after 10 years or 12 years, the dad also passed. We didn't see it coming. Yes, he wasn't sick, he just had the brief he had an accident, and he was already recovering. In fact, he was even talking to us. Everybody was just monitoring his recovery like that. He still speaks to us on the phone and it just happened. He just called us. I was with him that very morning as we went shopping when his elder sister called him to break the news, like that. It wasn't a good one at all. I personally missed that man because he was a good man. People talk about their family members, their in-laws, this and this and that, but this man, the kind of effect he had in my life was a different one, that even if he's my father, I don't think I will be able to love him more than the way I had really shown that man, because the man really drew me closer like a daughter. It didn't make me to feel as if I'm like a wife in their family, not from their tribe, and like that. He checks on us, he called, he talked to the children. There's a way he called me anytime you want to speak to me. I'm like, even with whenever I say this, he say, Toby, how are you? Those kind of a thing. And now, even if I'm annoyed with something and he called that time, I will be at ease, because there's a kind of effect his voice. It's just like my husband's voice, very soft spoken kind of person, and the man has been a good person, and the effect on us is that we couldn't really move on with it, to be honest, because of the impact he had really left in our lives, checking on us. Even if you give him a penny, he doesn't care. Even if you don't give him, he still called, using his credit to call all the way from Nigeria, spending his data minutes and minutes, to like call us to check on us, and that will not still stop him from calling again. It got to a point I was guilty. I told my husband, do you always give your dad something? Do you give him money? I don't give him money like every time, but once in a while I send him something. If I have the opportunity of somebody going or something, I just like, okay, let me get him this or give him something or sometime. But I compel my husband that you have to give your dad something, even if you have siblings or friends or anybody that you want to give money to, because they ask you that. This man did not ask you doesn't mean you won't give him something. So I made him to understand that you have to give your parents anything. I have to give us, but you are the son, this was dad, you have to give him. And I know he was doing that, and I knew the way he really cared for him when he had an accident, So the effect on us has been so it's something that we can't really do away with, or really forget in the hurry. Everybody has said good thing about this man. Even me as an in-law, I know the way he treated me, even though we live so far away. I've only met him like 3 times in my life. I've met we don't even when we're in Lagos. He lived in Delta State, and so we had 3 encounter before I relocated, so I've not been able to go back home and see, even though we're planning. And I remember his scenario, at times I don't want to believe, when people say, oh, yesterday morning somebody still called us, we didn't know the person was going to pass today, he was telling us this, he was saying this, he was speaking a parable. So I used that, does the person know that they want to pass? Do they know that they're going to die? Or they're just speaking out of maybe the nature, or because their instinct, the instinct is there to know what's going to happen. We just made them to say that thing, knowingly or unknowingly. I don't really know, because at that very time before this man passed, this man called, the dad called me like very early on a weekday. I can't remember the day precisely, like around 6:30 a.m. in the morning. When I saw the call, I was like, what kind of call is this one? That this one called me at this time of the day, very early, around 6:30 a.m. in the morning. I picked the call and he said, oh, Toby, how are we? Are fine, sir. He didn't even say, sorry, I have to wake you up. Maybe he didn't know. Like, what kind of thing are you guys to say by this time of the morning? So he said, when are you guys coming to Nigeria? I want you guys to come home. I want to see you guys. Blah, blah, blah. I was like, is this why this man now coming? Because even if one not comes to Nigeria, are we going to come today? Do you know what it is? We need to buy a ticket. We need to put some things in order. You have to like take permission or leave from work. Put some things in. It's not a chicken change money to travel to another country, especially your own country where you left for a long time, and it is a planning and preparation, to be honest. I'm like, I just said, okay, sir, we will come, sir. He said, I want you guys to come. I want to see you guys. You guys should come home. I said, okay. I'll just say, okay, sir, that way, because I'm like, even if I explain to the man that it's not easy to come, we need to do this, we need to do this, we will not even let him say, yes, I know. I just want you guys to come. So I just said, okay, sir, we'll work on it, sir. So when I just gave my husband one big tap. My friend, stand up. Your daddy didn't call me, call you. I'm the one he's calling. Maybe he had already spoken to me so many times about coming home, and the guy is not giving the man what he needed to hear. So maybe, okay, let me talk to the wife. And because I was like, why did this man think about this early morning? And he didn't even wait till afternoon. It's not as if he chipped that in during conversation. That was the major reason why he called, to be honest. And I was like, okay, sir, So I tapped my husband, my friend, wake up, see what your dad said now. Your daddy said this and that and that. The guy was just like, this is my dad. So that was something that I said, you cannot sleep. I think we need to talk about this thing. This man has been talking about that we should come home, we should come. So why are we not working towards it? And to be honest, we planned to like, okay, we're going to come. To be honest, we planned to go that last year. We were now like making plans. This was around I think he called me like around March, April. I already recovered from that accident before he called me. So I was like, okay. So I told him, I think we should come. Even though my dad has been disturbing, but my dad still understand because I had the opportunity to explain everything happening or we're going through or some things we need to do to my dad. So my dad understood. So he wasn't pressurizing, even though he really wanted us to come, like that. But but I cannot be explaining some things to my father-in-law because he's not my father. That's some things I can't tell him over the phone because he's not the type that talks much, like spending hours. My dad can spend 5 hours on the call with one person, especially me. I don't know. We'll talk and talk and talk until when his battery goes off, or maybe he doesn't have data again. That's when we end that call. So my dad understands. So when I told my husband that I think your dad wants us to come, I think we should plan it and just go, blah blah blah. Even though we have other plans, we wanted to do that last year. But because okay, we're gonna have to change. So we told that we called him back to say okay, we're gonna come. We told we're gonna come. Not until a month after we heard about his passing, and it was so devastating. It was really, really a very, very shocking news for the family, to be honest. Both women, but not just we. Everybody felt it. My husband felt it much, and I was like, I've never seen my husband this low. He was crying like a baby, like all through the night, the next day, the third day. He was just weeping. He would just sit down like this, and you will see tears coming. Like I did the work of a counselor. I counseled, I pet and pet. Even though I know that it is easier said than done. God forbid bad thing. God forbid anything bad happens to my parent now. Even whatever I say sorry, it will not enter somebody's ear. But what will I do? I just have to console him, make him feel love, and he broke down many times. He would still talk about, up to today, my husband was talking about his dad. I miss my dad, how I wish my dad is this, blah, blah, blah. Every day I remember, he would tell me he dreamt about him. I was saying, guy, you rest now, waiting. You rest now. If you are doing what the other people now do. But that is the effect. I think a loss to someone can affect someone in different ways. It affected us. Even me, that I'm just a daughter-in-law, it affected because I know the way this man used to call. Whenever in the past, whenever my husband and I have issues, this man will only take away. Even though maybe he will now go and support his son on the behind the, but in my presence, he will give it to my husband. Why will you do anything like that? Have you ever seen me do that to your mom? Have you ever seen me do this? My husband told me that while they were growing, I'd never seen the dad quarreling with the mom. So maybe they do that behind the scene when they are not there. He couldn't say, but he hadn't. So the man will always say, have you ever seen me do this to your mother? Have you ever done this and that? And he will call many times to appease the situation, to make sure everything is fine. And he will still check on us. Even down on the road, I missed him on that. Calling and checking on us, I missed him. He will call my phone personally. When I call him, he's going to call me back. If he's not there, if he doesn't pick, he's going to call back. He's not the time I will pick and he'll be like, he will not. He will call and call and call. That's why up to today, we still miss him so much. So when I remember today, I remember a good man, that this man was a good person. He was a good person. He was a good person. That is why it is difficult for us to just forget about him in a hurry. Even with the fact that we're distance apart, he still made us feel that closeness. So the effect of losing someone can really, really take a lot of tolls on someone. And my husband is sleeping right now. So when he wakes up, I'm gonna question him to ask him about how is he still feeling. Even after 1 year, you're gonna hear what he's gonna say. Just stay right tuned.